Hi there everyone. Welcome to Homeschool Autism Life. My name is Jamie and I am a mom to 3 children, a boy with autism and 2 girls. I make weekly videos on this channel discussing the details of homeschooling an autistic child. Thanks to COVID-19, I am also taking on homeschooling my 2 typical children, and I also do videos regarding our home-based therapy program that we do with Darian called the Sunrise Program. If this is something that sounds interesting to you, please consider subscribing. I like that my channel is very small and intimate, but I'd like to grow our conversation down in the comment section. I'd love to have you. This week's video, I am super excited, is my review of Gather Round Homeschool. And I'm so excited because I've been using it for the last several weeks, or months I should say, in response to the COVID-19 and doing co-teaching with my daughter's teachers. And they love it. They love it, they love it, and really do not appreciate the things that the teachers are sending them. Though they love their teachers, they see a huge difference in that. And so I wanted to give, because this is the most wonderful time of the year in YouTube land for me, because all of the moms are sharing what worked, what didn't about their homeschools, the curriculums that they like, all of that kind of stuff. And I just get inspired by other moms who are sharing that kind of information. And even though I'm pretty set in what I'm going to do for my kids next year, I really just love watching those and watching the hauls and stuff like that. And so I thought this was a timely thing for people who are looking forward to the next year and just trying to figure out what would work and what is the best for them. So what I do when I do a review is I do a pros and cons list, because I find that it gives the most balanced information, and then I just give my viewpoints on those pros and cons. First thing I have to say is this is a faith-based curriculum, so if that's something that you are interested in, I really suggest and encourage you to look down in the description box. I am going to flood my description box with all of the links to Gather Round Homeschool, her videos about how it came to be, why she did what she did, all of those kind of things. I will link as much as I can, all the information where you can get samples of the Gather Round and all of that kind of stuff, so that you have a chance to look into it. If I spoke on all those things, this video would be excessively long. So the best thing that I can do is share that I am super pumped and excited. Even my son is super excited about doing this with my kids. And mainly it's because of how they've responded. That's a huge pro for me, is that it doesn't seem like schoolwork to them. They are loving it, and that makes me love it, and incorporating Darian into it is going to take some time. But the number 2 pro for me is how adaptable this program is, or this curriculum is, I should say. I look at it as a foundation for educating my kids. I have 3 very distinct learners. Darian is autistic. He is 12 years old, and he is very reluctant to do schoolwork. And the great thing about this is I can adapt and change to what he needs, how it could work for him. I'm planning on doing another video specifically talking about that. How do I adapt it? How do I make it work for my son based on his particular needs? But that's the great thing, is you can, and it's awesome for that. I can also do that for my other 2 learners. So Inara is my second child, and she is 10 years old, and she is an excellent learner, an excellent student, and has the most amazing memory. I wish I had her memory. But if she gets bored, she doesn't try. She does do a lot of just, I filled it in to get it done. And so this again is something that I can adapt to make it as interesting to her as possible. My third daughter, Sienna, or my third child, I should say, Sienna, she is 8 years old, going to be 9 in August, and she struggled for quite a while in school. When she hit grade 1 and grade 2, and she repeated grade 2, because what we didn't realize is that she had an eye issue that required something called eye therapy. And I am intentionally going to make a video about that for those who are finding their kids struggling with reading and writing and doing math, because those were the areas she was struggling in. But after a year of therapy, she is now accomplishing those things, but her self-confidence took a huge hit. And so a big thing for me is that I need to be there for one-on-one education for her, but also to encourage her and praise her and give her the confidence that she needs in order to be excel at being a student and really love learning instead of finding it a struggle. So the adaptability of this curriculum is beautiful, because I can look at my kids and I can literally go, this is what this child needs, and it's all the same curriculum for all three, and so I just have to adapt it a little bit. So that was my big main pro for our family and why it works for us. The other part that I'm really excited about is that it covers 9 other subjects. So instead of having 10 books for each of my children to go through, I have one. Each month there's one book that I go through, and my children don't have all of these other books to overwhelm them, and it doesn't overwhelm me because I'm going, you know, to each child and going, okay, what do we have to remember this time? The next one that I wanted to share was, it is beautiful, and I keep saying that, but it is. I wanted to just share, really, if you have not looked into Gather Around Homeschool, please pause the video, go to the description box and look through all of the information that I shared. It is awesome, but I wanted to show you a little bit of how pretty it is, just in case you've never seen it. So this is a sample of the space one, and it's gorgeous. I am an artist, and I just so appreciate, there we are, I just appreciate the time and the effort they took to make this curriculum beautiful and engaging, and something that children love to want to do and look at and enjoy. So these two are the mini units, and, or no, the Indigenous Peoples is a mini unit. These are the bigger ones. They have these beautiful coloring pages that my daughter specifically loves. And I also wanted to say, they made sure that all of the pictures that they have within it, they aren't pixely, they're gorgeous pictures. They did such a great job, and I wish I had been a part of how beautiful it is. The next one is one of those ones that is a pro and a con for some people. So you can purchase print or digital copies of this curriculum, and then you have the ability to decide how you want to use it, whether you buy it or whether you buy the digital, and then how you print it, how you bind it, all of those types of things. It can be, for some people, they look at it and go, it's really expensive. For me, and when I say really expensive, that's in the eye of the beholder. For me, I look at it and go, this is a program that she is planning, Rebecca Spooner is planning on doing 4 years, and she has just finished this one. And you then can go, and it's a cyclical pattern that you can use once you buy, say, the digital, which is what we've chosen to do. then you can go right back to the beginning once you've done the 4th year, and your children will find it new and interesting because they are in a different age group by then. So right now, my early elementary will be in middle school by the time we return to this topic. The other great thing is that she's doing 10 units per year plus several mini units and stuff like that. There's so much meat and potatoes in this curriculum that you can go for a very long time. You can add, you can take away, you can do all sorts of things. And I am going to be doing that for my youngest daughter. I am adding a little bit of language arts for living education, because I really want to solidify that foundation that she didn't really have in grade 1 and grade 2. So those types of things are all adaptable and changeable, and once you get into high school, then you can add all sorts of other curriculums to beef it up and make it more strong, hit the requirements of each government and all of that kind of stuff, but it's a foundation that I love. So the next one that I wanted to share was the connections and the conversations. So when you're learning about something, and I found this when I was in school, that for me it was like, well, why am I learning this? I don't understand what the point and purpose is of learning this specific thing. And what I love about this is that it sits there and goes, okay, how do you put, how do you get bananas into your house? Well, bananas come from countries far away, and how did they get here? That sort of thing. And your kids are engaged. What about plastic that we use every single day? How does it end up in the ocean, and what should we do about that? Those connections make the education part stick, and kids start understanding what they're learning. And we've had some great conversations. One of the ones that my daughter, I'm blah, 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 blah. In the Ocean Studies unit in particular, the big project is a writing project. And my daughter wanted to know what the biggest volcano under the ocean was called. And so she found a video that it was funny. It went dun dun dun. What if all the volcanoes in all of the world explode simultaneously? And it was, and then it was, well, it's okay, we'll move to Mars, which definitely we're close to that. But you don't think you're safe there because there's volcanoes there too. And my daughter and I had this amazing discussion about critically thinking about the information that she was receiving, finding ways to collaborate it, making sure that it isn't a one-sided news story, or like so many different things that I was just so kind of chuckling to myself about, because I don't know if we would have ever had that conversation had we not been doing Gather Around Homeschool. So it's amazing for that kind of thing. So that's another pro that I wanted to share. So the digital, again, is a pro and a con to some people. So for me, I love the flexibility. If my son is having a difficulty with, say, the writing component because he has sensory aversion to holding a pencil, can I print younger versions of the same page and put that in instead of the writing component? Or can I somehow adapt it for the computer or whatever? So I have loved that. But watching through Facebook page and stuff like that, people have had difficulties with just different things like, the computer doesn't open it properly or whatever. I look at that and go, it's not really a pro or a con to me, because I think computers are evil. They are for me, at least. I'll sit down to do something and it won't work, but then my husband sits and goes click and I go, ah! So I think that's more of just different platforms, different computers, misreading information and stuff like that. But I wanted to assure everyone who's watching this that the Gather Round Homeschool team has done an amazing job making sure that they address, if you've bought the program, it's not working for you, they will find a way to make it work for you. So again, it's more irritation than it is, it's more frustrating than it is con, because they are on top of it and making sure that you get what you ordered. There is a Facebook group page, and I'm singing it because I have been so blessed by this Facebook group. There we go. The reason why is because so many parents are sharing the things that they're doing. Look, we found this YouTube video. Look, we're doing this craft with this unit or this lesson. And it doesn't matter where I am, I'll copy the link that they shared and I will put it in my email, and then when I have a chance to sit down on my computer, I take it and put it in my stockpile of all the things that I can do with my kids. And it's just such a rich place to be. Now, some people see it as a con only because there are so many people using this Facebook group page that unfortunately sometimes a post can get lost under all the other new posts that pop up. And so what the Gather Round Homeschool team did was they made an app. And I'm singing that too because it's awesome too. The app is free. And what they do is they've made beautiful, nice little folders with everything that you could use. And so it's fairly new, so a lot of the things that they've been sharing haven't been put in just yet, but I have full confidence in this group that we're just going to be sharing each lesson, what they use, all of that kind of stuff. So there's a huge database that you don't even have to start from scratch and look at. The other thing about the app that I found so wonderful is that you can find a group of people who are like-minded. For me, for instance, it's homeschooling a special needs child. And you can look in there and you've got a team or a group of people who are in similar places that you are, and you can go, okay, I'm having trouble getting my kid to be interested in this or that or the other thing. And there may be many parents going through the same thing, or they've achieved that goal or whatever, and they can give you advice and stuff like that. So I find it awesome, and I'm so excited about this app. The other thing that I wanted to share was they have a lot of mini units coming, some that are already up. Specifically things like Christmas and Easter. For me, I have chosen to use a mini unit in the way that I know Christmas is crazy. I also know my April is crazy because we have Easter and 2 major birthdays in my family. And so I'm planning on using mini units on those months so that I'm not stressed out and I'm not trying to figure out how I'm going to get it all done. But I've heard other people use them alongside other units, so Indigenous peoples and North America, they put them together and they're able to do that. There's also recipe books. My daughter, who loves cooking and is like her dad, who is a Red Seal chef, she is so excited about the recipe books, and I am so excited to be with her because, again, it's a connection and it's going to solidify those lessons. The other thing is they have posters for some things, like the human body unit, and they have cursive writing notebooks, so your children can practice those types of things. So there's so much in there, so many wonderful things that you can use to bring alongside your children's education, and I am so excited about it. The last thing that I wanted to share was there have been some concerns as far as cons go about the typos. Now, for me personally, I knew right away that this was a brand new curriculum, and so any typos that I found, I was able to just keep reading. My children were none the wiser. I didn't find any erroneous information, but they are so open to, if you find something, they even have, I think it's an email page, but they literally say, just let us know and we'll fix it. I also know Rebecca Spooner has hired people to actually go through all the first year units and make sure that they're solid and there is no typos. So they are on it. They're doing a great job. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Rebecca Spooner and her team for all of the work, answering God's call, doing their level best, because for me, this has given me the confidence to take on educating my children, both my special needs child and my two typical children, who are so different. And I'm so thankful for that, because I don't think I would have ever jumped in with both feet if I didn't have something like Gather Round. So thank you, thank you. We are praying for you and your team as you continue to do this. And yeah, I hope that this has been helpful for you. I hope that you are really looking into it. And if you can, if you have any questions, send a message to me, or send a message to their team. They would love to hear from you. I have heard all sorts of good things about how they respond to people who have questions or concerns. So it's a rainy day. I hope you're bright and sunny wherever you are. Thank you for watching. Thank you for spending time with me. I know how valuable it is. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye, guys.